come on and sit down. We got lots to talk about. First things first, we're congratulating Miss Worldwide herself, Kandi Burruss. She's getting a big honor from Bravo. I'll tell you all about that. Real Housewives of London. We have a trailer. We have a premiere date. We have some familiar faces in that trailer. We're going to talk about that as well. Also, we are going to talk about the fact that Jax Taylor, he's like a housewife status. He's now telling Bravo goodbye for like the second time. It's that coming and going back type thing. Jax Taylor's announced he's leaving the Valley. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how I am annoyed because where's the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer? Waiting on it. So we're going to talk about that as well. Come with your thoughts and share them with me. Let's talk about all the things that I just mentioned to you and more. Tell me about your day. I would love to hear how it's going. And yeah, what's on your Bravo 11 minds today? Yasmin, hi, good evening from England. Hello, how are you? I love that. And so, you know what? Speaking of England, you know who knows England very well is the first person we're going to talk about. And she knows England well because she's worldwide, and that is Kandi Burruss. And the reason that we're going to talk about Kandi is because Andy announced on Watch What Happens Live last night that Kandi is the next recipient of the the Lifetime Achievement Award at BravoCon this year. So, number one, much deserved. Number two, I just love this so very much because Vicki was, of course, the first recipient at the last BravoCon 2 years ago. And I was, obviously wondering, like, who's going to get it this year? Are they even going to give it away this year? And to see it go to somebody as iconic as Kandi, great choice, Bravo. Great choice. And I feel like Andy has a lot to do with this choice too, because I feel like Andy loves him some Kandi, and rightfully so. So let me know, what do you think about Bravo's decision to award Kandi with this? I think it was, again, like I said, a wonderful decision. Also, I definitely need like Vicki to be the one to present it to her, right? Like, we want Vicki to come out and pass along, like, pass along the torch, I guess, like how, like, Miss Universe or whatever, Miss America, Miss USA, don't they come out, after their year and they say, here you go, here's the sash, here is the title. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. I think that we could have Vicki come out and give a little speech and congratulate Kandi and present her with the award. I mean, both of them are hardworking women. Both of them don't like, I mean, no scrubs. Like, they don't like, they don't like men that don't work, people that don't work. Like, that, maybe they got more in common than we would have thought, that Vicki and Kandi would have. So, because like Vicki's an OG. Kandi's not technically an OG, but Kandi's one of those that it's like, just because she missed a season or two, she's still an OG to me, technically. So, like, I feel like they have that in common, that they share the status and the, the honor, I feel, of knowing that they helped create and carry these franchises, because, like, I do feel like Atlanta definitely, Kandi changed the game when she got to Atlanta. Y'all, like, Kandi's a Grammy award-winning artist, songwriter. Like, that's such an insane honor. And I fully feel that Kandi will be an EGOT at some point in our lifetime. And yeah, so I mean, but what is an EGOT honor when you got a Lifetime Achievement Award on the shelf, But hello, we'll take it. No, but for real, I am so happy that they picked Kandi, and really excited to see how they honor her that night. Because if you remember, whenever they presented Vicki with her award, it was like 3 or 4, like old school housewives like Joe De La Rosa, Alexis, I think Gretchen. They all, came to present Vicki with her award. So I'm really excited to see how they present Kandi with hers. And go Kandi. Good for you, girl. Good for you. Happy for her. Also, let's talk about the Real Housewives of London. a trailer came our way, y'all. And look, I love to get to know some of the new ladies. That's very, very exciting. However, we also got to see Dorinda in there and Caroline Stanbury. So they kept that one a good secret. Like, like everything be hitting like blind gossip and stuff these days, and perhaps it was, and I just missed this one. But I'm really surprised that there was no like leaks or mentions or whatever of Dorinda popping into Housewives of London. But just gotta say, Dorinda, Housewives of London, pop in. Caroline, Housewives of London, pop in. Dorinda back on Traitors, Caroline on Traitors. It's giving NBC Teacher's Pet. And it's giving, I ain't mad at you, because it's giving you're cashing major paychecks. So congrats, ladies. Here for it. And I love that, I love when Bravo, they don't forget some of our familiar faces that we still want to see, especially since Dorinda is not on the new version of Roni and Dubai is on pause. So yeah, nice little booster to know that we'll see them. So let me know what you think about that. And also, I just want to say as well, when does Traitors normally come out? Now that I mentioned Traitors, it's like a late fall show, I guess, right? Is it fall? Because I'm tired. I feel like they need 2 seasons. They need 2 seasons a year, like Big Brother. A celebrity season and then like a non-celebrity season. Because even just mentioning it briefly just now about Dorinda and Caroline, I'm ready to go to the castle. Like, let's go. It's one of the few shows that I feel like everybody's into. That's the first time I've been to a watch party for a show in years. Like weeks in a row. Like group chats about it outside, the watching of each week. So bring it on back, please. Bring it on back. Oh, interesting too. I wonder what the timeline was. Obviously Housewives of London was filmed before this new season of Traitors would be. So really curious to see what the dynamic between Stanbury and Dorinda is. Because they could either be a dynamic duo or because they both got a sharp tongue. You know what I mean? Speaking of sharp tongue, so does Jax Taylor. And that's just one of the few offenses of him. Okay. So we just got news today. Jax Taylor is not returning to the Valley ahead of season 3. So I heard the chicken was lovely. Did anybody try the chicken? What's for lunch today? How are gas prices in y'all's town? That's how I feel about Jax Taylor not being on Bravo anymore. I do want to say, though, go Brittany, because what a freeing, moment this must be, because her entire, existence and entire relationship, and from her entry to now, present day, with Bravo, has been because of Jax. I hate to say the word because, but didn't they meet in Vegas when he was already on the show? And that's how she got, brought in to meet, to be a part of the group. And, yes, they had good moments. They had bad moments. We all know how Jax is, but just want to hopefully mention what is a good moment for her, and that, well, probably not good for her in the sense that this is going to affect his paycheck, but hopefully good for her in that she can now have a professional space to earn a living for her and her son without necessarily him being there all the time and being a part of that. Think that has to be good and freeing for her, I would think. So go Brittany, and curious to see what path the Valley takes from here. What do y'all think will happen? Yeah, really, because you also got to think Vanderpump Rules, they already have a new cast coming too. So lots of changes ahead, it seems. And we also need to mention that Bravo, I love y'all so much, but I have been on the edge of my seat since, let's see, July 15th at 5:32 p.m. I thought it was like 4 days. It's been less than 24 hours since they teased that the Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer was coming, and I'm over here like, hello, time's a ticking. I was getting ready to be like, it's been 84 years, like the Titanic meme. Nope. 20 and a half hours if I'm lucky. But yes, Bravo responded to a tweet from OMFG Reality TV because they shared the little teaser of Salt Lake City that Bravo aired during, I think it aired during Housewives of Orange County the other night. Little 15-second teaser. You didn't see the women. It was just like flowers blooming through the snow. But anyway, Bravo responded and said, our girls are defrosting, aka the trailer. We're about to hit play on it. I need there to be a universal rule that when stuff like that is said, the things that are being teased are in our hands by the time we wake up. Otherwise, you got me out here looking a fool on YouTube Live about to call y'all out for waiting 4 days for a trailer. Meanwhile, I'm just in my head being impatient and ready for y'all to drop it. So bring it on. I also saw too, I wish I had marked this, I'm sorry, but if you've seen, Teresa and Whitney Rose are on like a string of events in Australia together. And so obviously they're doing press and, a lot of the events, I think, you get the interactive Q&As and stuff like that. And Whitney was talking about the upcoming season of Salt Lake City, and which will be season 6 already. Where does the time go? It seems like yesterday we didn't know these women, and now we're going to have already served a full prison sentence with one in the blink of an eye. But Whitney said that season 6, she's like, we've had scandalous moments. Speaking of prison sentence, she said, we have an OG that's serving time. But she said that she felt that season 6 was even more scandalous or even more just like bizarre or something. I wish I could remember the exact word, but basically said, have no fear of Salt Lake slowing down anytime soon, which it's like, well, praise God, because I do worry though. Like, it just gets better, which thank God, but that makes me nervous because it's like, we as Bravo fans are not gracious. We are not kind. And the moment that there's a slip up, as Brittany Glenville's tagline once said, in Beverly Hills, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. That's Housewives all across the board, baby. And so I think it is so worthy of celebration and honoring that Salt Lake has consistently remained so good, especially with the challenges they face as far as casting and scandals and all that, the legal stuff. But at some point too, it's like, if there's the higher it is and the better it is for the longer period of time, I feel like the harder you feel those any potential little bumps, and back to Bravo and all of us, I love us, but we're not, sometimes we could be a little more patient. I fear that, we have to remember that these women have given and given and given, just like Potomac, I mean, like I see, sometimes they've gotten a hard rap sometimes about seasons not being as, hype or something, or as scandalous as the season before, but it's like, only so many people can go to jail, only so many people can get in tax trouble. Like, they're giving all they have. But just curious to see how scandalous this season 6 is that Whitney was talking about. And, perhaps I should shut my mouth about being a little paranoid of ever hitting that bump in the road, because according to Miss Rose, we're not hitting one anytime soon, you know? So, all right, let's go back and see what all of y'all had to say. Gonna catch up on your comments. Someone said, is Potomac good? I haven't had any interest to watch. Well, I hope you like homework because you have about 9 seasons of it to do. And it's due by our next live, which is Friday at 3:38. So don't get your time twisted like I did. You got less than 48 hours. It's not humanly possible, but I suggest you still try and binge as much as you can. And then we'll meet back here on Friday. Okay. Let's also keep talking about Housewives of London. Let's see. Someone says they don't want to watch London. They stopped watching years ago. We already have all of our Housewives favorites. You mean watching like Ladies of London years ago? So you're not in, Yasmin, you're good on Housewives installments. She's like, I don't need any more. I got all the crazy women in my life that I need. I'm good. She said, keep it. I mean, that's interesting because I'm over here like, I need more. Give me all you can. I will take Housewives of Grand Forks. I don't care, you know. Angela, good evening from Scotland. Hey, I love that. That is so cool. Thank you for watching, Angela. Let's see, Yasmin, Jax is annoying to society. Water is wet, you know. Let's see, Lindsay. She agrees that with Jasmine that Jax is annoying. KM, where's the Salt Lake trailer? Why would they do a flower teaser? See, is imagery the word? Symbolism? I need to go back to English class, but that was definitely, there's intent there with the flowers popping through the snow. And someone said too, I think it's 6 or 7 flowers. Like, is that how many full-time housewives holding snowflakes? And it's like flowers coming through the snow. Is that like emerging through frozen, beating the odds, a new day, new beginnings, unexpected? What's that word? Horticulture, where you like plants? Like, I mean, what are they teasing here? You know, I don't know. And guess what? I wouldn't have to guess anymore if we would get the damn trailer. Jesus. Let's see. Yasmin, if they didn't get rid of Jax, oh yeah. I can't wait until Jen Shaw is out of prison. Someone said, listen, I'm ready for her to live her life too. I just don't know if Bravo wants to step into that because that can be held against them for a long time. You know, I doubt they will. Ann T says, hi, everyone. Hi, Ann T. Where are you watching from? Let's see. Someone says they'll try. Okay, yes, you better watch Potomac. Whitney really gets a divorce. No, I don't think Whitney and Justin are getting it. I think Whitney and Justin are good. Yeah. Mel, hey, bro. Right now, RHOSLC is the only Bravo show I can stand. Well, baby, we're going to need to fix that because that means that Bravo ain't even on in your house at this moment. So therefore, I probably also need to send you this little teaser so you can get excited because you probably didn't see it. Okay, you said you did watch Ladies of London, Auntie. Okay, yes, Ladies of London was iconic. I feel like also it's still such a beloved show. Is horticulture the right word? I don't do the outdoors in any essence. Be it studying it in the classroom or being out there and experiencing it. It ain't happening. Mel, Gina, and Emily are getting on my last nerve in the OC. Okay, well, we've only had 1 episode, right? Why are they getting on your nerves? Just the way that the whole Katie stuff? Do you think they don't have a point, or is it the approach? And perhaps I'm off completely, so feel free to let me know what you're referring to. Let's see. I need to find out how to VPN into some Cheshire. Everybody talks about a VPN like it's Uber. It's here and attainable and just something everybody should know about. What is a VPN? And you Google it and you get 85 options and that's just on half of page 1. You mean to tell me that I can live stream possibly inappropriate things that somebody is streaming from their house in Munich, but can't next day stream a program on, you know, Hi You or Hey You or whatever? I'll never know how to say that when I've been struggling with it for years. Why is it so hard? Why? And I don't, why can't it just go on Peacock? I feel, is this what our parents and grandparents feel like? Because I feel like like my joints are creaking, old, not getting it, not registering. What's not clicking? What's not clicking? For the love of God, please just make Real Housewives of London easier to watch. Put it on Peacock. Put it on a paywall. I'll pay $3.99 an episode every week. Put it on auto pay. I'll pay up front. No VPN required would be nice. Also, still don't know what a VPN stands for. Virtual something, I'm guessing. I don't know. Mel says she's just never liked Emily and Gina. Well, you know. Her fake storyline about Travis. See, I feel like, and didn't she get accused of that a couple seasons ago? Like that wasn't there like storyline about him moving out? Didn't people say that was fake? Am I dreaming? He moved out like last season or the season before, right? I don't know. Mel, trying to figure out the VPN is like learning a code. It is like, if I get a VPN figured out, I want my mechanical engineering degree, master's, overnighted in a frame. Call me Bill Gates. For real. You know what I mean? Oh, Lord. All right. You know, this is why I love y'all. Y'all help me laugh. We have a good time. All right. Well, I'm going to start to wrap up. And I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. I choose to believe in the words of Vicki Gunvalson. Amen. We thank Jesus in advance. And if you were a Christian, you would do the same. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to thank Jesus in advance that next time I see y'all on Friday, it will be to discuss the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 6 trailer and to see what all this scandal is that Whitney Rose is talking about. So thank y'all so much for being with me today. It truly does mean the world. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 3 o'clock every week. Highlight of my week every time. So love y'all. Besos, besos, besos. See you next time. Bye.